your mother that way in uniform, would you come on my show and defend them?
I'm not defending.
Yes, y'all do, brother. Come on, man.
Listen, people saying I'm defending it.
Would you say what you're saying if this was your mother?
I would say the same thing.
This way.
I would say the same thing because I'm going off of what the law says. I don't
if they killed your mama.
250 Gemstones culture represents a nation of people that strive for excellence and greatness every single day. We are more than journalism. We are a revolution. Come on, let's kick this door down and let everybody know we up in here. Welcome to the 250 Gemstones News TV channel. I am your host, Michael T. Porter, and I'm bringing the news to your ass like no other. This is a channel that represents a nation of people that strive for excellence and greatness every single day. I have another bomb news segment for y'all, but before I begin, y'all hit that like button, the subscribe button, that share button, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, Cash App $Michael US. Don't forget to check out my Spotify podcast, the 250 Gemstones Culture Podcast. Link is in the description. Y'all stay and watch the whole video. We need to talk. If this is your first time, thank you for putting your eyeballs on my channel, baby. And those of y'all who've been with me since day one, thank you. As you can see, we are growing, we getting better, we getting stronger. We can't be stopped. But there's somebody that needs to be stopped, and that's that nigga, Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum said that the officer that was involved in the slaying of Sonya Massey, Sean Grayson, his actions were justified. Yes, that's right. Officer Tatum said that piece of trash, that scumbag that killed that innocent black woman was justified. His actions were justified. I got a video I want to play for y'all. Officer Tatum is on a panel with another officer from Baltimore, and he's on the Indisputable channel. And I'm gonna be right back with you to give you my opinion. Let's go.
You're making an argument for the worst among us in policing, as it comes when it comes to people. In addition to that, you're making an argument for the worst among us in policing, and you admit you did not like anything they did. You didn't like none of it. But brother, I hate to bring this home, man. Your mama living, Officer Tatum?
Huh?
Is your mama living?
Yeah, my mama alive.
My mother is not. If somebody did your mother that way in uniform, would you come on my show and defend them?
I'm not defending.
Yes, y'all do, brother. Come on, man.
Listen, people saying I'm defending it like I'm defending this officer. Would you say what you're saying if this was your mother?
I would say the same thing. This way.
I would say the same thing because I'm going off of what the law says.
If they killed your mama?
If this officer shot my mother after she threw a pot of boiling water at him.
Going through a mental health episode. They did not follow protocol. They did not de-escalate. You would still come on television in order to debate that they or that cop was still legally in the right.
I'm only debating the law. I don't care for this cop. And I don't think that he did everything right. I think that he would have been probably worse off if he would have shot her the way they've been perpetuating out in the news, that if she was just standing by the stove, she put her hands up and homeboy shot her because he thought she would throw a pot of boiling water. I mean, he would go to prison for the rest of his life. What I'm saying is that things begin to change when a person throws a pot of boiling water at him. I would have liked to see him do things differently. I would be very upset if that was my mom. I would have been very upset. I'm upset that this woman lost her life. I don't think that this should have resulted in that. But the law will dictate certain things when it comes to self-defense. And boiling water is a deadly weapon because a person can get seriously injured, dismembered. I mean, not dismembered, but get seriously injured.
But it's not considered. No, sir. It's not considered a deadly weapon. It
is a deadly weapon. According to Illinois law, a boiling pot of water is a deadly weapon.
No, it's not considered. It's considered. No, sir. Look at the ruling, sir. It's not considered.
I know the ruling says, Dr. Ritchie, the ruling says that the water was the deadly weapon and deadly force was justified in that scenario. However, they are arguing that he put himself in a situation that should not necessitate a deadly force. Let me just give you an example.
Brother, let me do this.
Let me just give this example real quick.
Tatum, I'm going to let you give me the example, dear brother. But I want you to understand the difference between a deadly weapon, which is categorized by instrumentation, and the use of deadly force. The court made the distinction. You see, the device or the pot itself is not a deadly weapon. They talked about what the officer subjectively believed was the deadly weapon. That was the contextualization of the court, not the category of the pot or of the boiling water. To Officer Taylor, I want you to respond to Tatum, and then we'll go back for Tatum's example. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the law does provide for self-defense. For instance, in the case of an officer chasing an armed person, if that person is going to get to a position of cover and be able to return fire, and the officer is in the open, that officer is justified in shooting this person, okay? Because it's accepted that the officer, through no fault of their own, right, in the performance of their duty, is inadvertently placed in a position of severe disadvantage, right, which could result in severe injury or loss of life. That is mutually understood, it's universally understood.
Would y'all like my opinion? Would y'all like some of this 250 Gemstones News TV commentary? Well, of course you do. That's why your ass is here. And when I first saw this video, Officer Tatum, I'm not one of them niggas to be like, if I disagree with the overall mission of a person, it's not up to me. Like, say y'all rocking with me, right? That doesn't mean you can't rock with Officer Tatum. Even though I don't like a lot of what he say, he has a very unusual alliance to bad cops, right? To the bad behaviors of cops. So I don't agree with that, because most of them cops that kill innocent people, whether they black or whatever, black, white, you a punk and you a coward, because you have a license to take a life, and then most of the time y'all don't do you don't do any time. So you have the license to kill and you don't do time, but you walking around here thinking you tough. You walking around here thinking you bad. You understand what I'm saying? So I have no respect for those cops, but Officer Tatum does. Officer Tatum loves the bad behavior of cops, and he's going to justify it. I cover so many cop stories, and anybody that have at least a little bit of decency can see most of these stories where these cops use excessive force. They abuse their power, but Officer Tatum would never see it that way, because deep down inside, I believe he believes what he say to the extent. But Officer Tatum is a troll, right? All this nigga do is talk about the black community, but he doesn't even have a black queen on his arm. Make that make sense. You talking shit about black people, the black community, in order for a community to be a community, it has to consist of family. So if you're talking about the black community, which is a huge area of black families, how can you talk about us, right? And you didn't even find a black woman valuable. You don't even find black women valuable enough to be on your arm. You couldn't find no black stomach to put your juice in. They got beautiful black women from Oakland, California, all the way to Miami, all the way up to New York, and back down to Arizona. He's in Arizona right now. They got blacks in Arizona. They got blacks in They got some beautiful black women in Las Vegas. They got because I'm from Cali. The population has significantly dwindled. Did I say that right? Y'all help me out. I went to a public school. Significantly dwindled since the 40s and the 50s. But there's a lot of beautiful black women got that big old behind. Black women are beautiful. And there are a lot of conservative black women. So you want me to believe that you couldn't find an educated, conservative black woman that shares your values? Cool. You couldn't find one. So how can you talk about a black community, black families, and you don't even have a black family? Your wife is white. So a lot of the stuff that this nigga do is trolling. He knows that if you're super, because he only points out the wrong in the black community. He don't talk about the white community. He don't talk about how white men, especially in Alabama, try to hump on their sisters. Why is he addressing that? Now I heard a whole bunch of other white boys. I was on YouTube. I was on YouTube, the YouTube Shorts, and they said this is not Alabama. So, hey, I don't know what's going on, but they love their sisters. Opioids. Why didn't he address the opioids crisis? Why isn't he pointing out all these racist cops? Why isn't he? The only time he brings up racism when it's about the liberals. In his mind, people that are conservative or Republican representatives are not racist. Is this nigga high? Officer Tatum refused to point out the wrong in the white community. There's a lot of poor white folks. Why isn't he addressing the poverty within the white community? Because it have him tell it all white folks are doing good, and they're not. Most white people are broke. Most white people are poor, not because they lazy, not because, they don't want anything out of life. It's just how the system is designed. The system is designed for the Americans not to make it. So if this same system that blacks are affected by, he only points out how the system affects black folks, but he don't point out the results and the outcome of this system that white people live in too. There's a lot of white people on welfare. Why doesn't Officer Tatum talk about that? Well, there's more white. This is their rebuttal. There's more white. They try to talk to you like you slow. There's more white folks, so it's going to be more of them on the system. No. According to you, white folks are damn near perfect. White folks have built the greatest nation in the world. These are conservative Republican viewpoints. Extreme. And they laid out the blueprint. And slavery, I mean, it happened, but blacks need to just go ahead and get over it. But here's the thing. White folks are perfect. They hard workers. They are closer to God. All these wonderful things about white folks. So these white folks are so closer to God. They know how to lay out the blueprint for the greatest nation in the world. They're great builders. Why are they on welfare? Why aren't they starting business? Why are there so many poor white folks on the welfare system? Why are there so many white folks doing drugs? Let Officer Tatum, and mind you, he has a white wife on his arm. Ain't knocking that. If you are just solely about morals and you want black folks to do better, that's cool. But you can't. I feel that you can't be a pro-black if you don't have a really, really pro-black. If you won't even consider having a black woman on your arm or having a black man on your arm, because it looks crazy. You go home to your white in-laws and you just sit around talking about your folks. Think about this. They talk shit about black folks and then go home and then review what they just said about black folks to their white families, their in-laws. What I'm saying is Officer Tatum talks all this mess about black folk in our communities, and then he goes home to white folks. Yeah, look at these niggas. Like, yeah. I mean, they're just freaking stupid. They sag their pants. They have low credit scores. These niggas are retarded. They don't know how to vote. Everything that they do is just backwards. It remind you when he goes home, he's telling this to white people. Now, if he's hardly critiquing black folk, but he's going home to a black woman like, baby, our people are messed up. What we gonna do? That's a different ball game. If Officer Tatum is going home to a big booty sister and them chocolate chips under her bra, that Cocoa Puff between her legs, and he's showing what black love look like, which it should be universal love. He's treating her with decency. He putting diamonds all over that black woman. He putting his black woman in the home. And then he can say, I put a black woman in the home. We work together. And then if the black community, they would say, well, you guys are Uncle Toms and bootlickers. You know nothing about the ghetto. That's a different story. That's within the black community. This classism within the black community. But for you to go outside of your race and then talk mess about your race. That's crazy as hell. And then justify every police shooting of unarmed black people. Or even if they armed, that we have a right. Officer Tatum he's a psychopath. He doesn't believe that America, he talks about all this patriotism. He talks about the Constitution all day long. But when people exercise their right, he will always defend the oppressor, which is the police, the FBI, the CIA. What I'm saying is, we have the right to protect ourselves against cops. In his mind, we're not supposed to protect ourselves against cops. We're not supposed to kill cops. It's my life or your life. He does understand that the Constitution was written for the American people to defend themselves against government. This is the very thing that he preaches. As a conservative, as a patriot of the patriot of the United States, as a patriot of the United States, you know the Constitution was written to protect the people from oppression from the government, to keep the government out your damn business. That's why we have the right to carry guns. The right to carry guns is not to only protect yourself from other citizens, it's to protect yourself from scumbag cops like Sean Grayson, who took the life of an innocent black queen, Sonya Massey. You dumb nigga. This dumb nigga, Officer Tatum, like I said, if y'all rock with, y'all can rock with. I'm not the type to like, I want to see the man get some money, but at the same time, he's just trolling. He cannot believe what he's saying. But in these times, maybe he does believe it. But y'all flood my comments. What do y'all think about Officer Tatum saying that the killing of Sonya Massey out there in Illinois? Shout outs to Illinois, the state of Illinois. I hope y'all doing okay. Y'all in a mess too. He's saying that the slaying of Sonya Massey was justified. 250 capital G. I'm gone.